Hey guys, this is Eric with Crossfit Encino. So this video is going to be attached or a part of an email that we're going to send out. It's end of June 2016. We're halfway through the year, and this video is going to be called The State of CrossFit Encino. So the goal of this video and the email accompanying it are going to be to make some of the announcements that are kind of larger in scope and broader now, so that as we implement them, you guys can give us feedback, ask us questions. We want to make this an open dialogue about some of the things that we want to do or changes we'd like to make at the gym, and we don't want it to feel like sudden and mandatory. So your guys' feedback will actually help us make the process better. And so I've got a list here of things that I'm going to kind of go through. Some of them are quicker, and I'll talk about more in the email because it's going to be easier to present visually. And a few of them I'll talk about right now. So specifically, the first and most important thing are some easy logistics. We're going to make some very, very small schedule changes in July. So the morning classes all have 15-minute breaks between them. We're going to do the same for evening classes. We're finding that sometimes we're unable to answer questions or interact with you guys in between evening classes when it gets very busy. So we think adding a 15-minute buffer will help. That means that class times on the evenings would start at 5 p.m., 6:15 p.m. would be the second, 7:30 p.m. would be the third. On days where we have a 4:30 p.m. class, we're going to just move that to 4. That would be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You'll see this reflected in the Zen Planner and the schedule, so I'm not going to get into more detail. If you guys have questions or concerns or the timing changes feel like they're going to throw things off too much, let us know. Nothing is required. We just want to test some things to make life a little bit more streamlined for the coaches. Okay. The second thing we're going to do in July is we're going to add a bunch of workshops at 10 a.m. So where John Epstein's class used to be, we're going to add in 4 Olympic lifting workshops. So some of you may have noticed and some of you may have never experienced these, but we used to incorporate a lot more of the clean and the snatch in our workouts. I'll get into more detail again in the email, and if you guys have questions, you can ask me. But basically what we'd like to do is make 4 dedicated clean and snatch classes, where we're doing 1 hour on the education and practice of those 2 movements because they're challenging, risky, but very, very high yield. They're very beneficial. And we want to be doing those at a slower pace in a class that doesn't have a ton of things to cover. And so that's the objective of that. So at 10 a.m. on 4 Saturdays and Sundays each month, we're going to have that class. And it will be listed in the schedule. You'll be able to see that. I highly, highly encourage every member to try to attend some of those. It will greatly, greatly improve the speed at which we will be able to incorporate those movements into classes. So that's just something we'll talk about more. We'll also be having 2 other different types of workshops at that 10 a.m. slot. We'll have 2 in-house educational workshops, 1 on nutrition every month and 1 on a topic that we will announce prior. So for the coming month, we're going to do something like an hour where we talk about 5 or 7 body prep movements you can do when you travel. So a lot of you guys travel, so this is an example of one of the workshops we'll be doing. It will be how do you mobilize your body so you feel good when you travel, and what tools can you get that are travel capable, travel compatible. So that's an example. And then finally, the last type of workshop, we're going to bring in some outside educators. So we have networked with some chiropractors, some sports efficiency people, Maury from the Performance Lab, and they're going to come in and do maybe a 1-hour session on body treatment, on nutrition, other areas of nutrition, supplementation, anything that we think will be valuable, anything that you guys solicit of us or request of us, we'll go out and search for it. So this is a good opportunity if you guys have topics that you'd like to learn more about for you maybe to come to us and suggest, so we'll do that. I think with that, we cover most of the big changes we'll be doing in July. So those are 3 changes or things we'll be looking into. Sorry, that was 2. I got 1 more. The third is to give you guys a brief explanation of the programming for next month. So we just came off of 3 months of heavy lifting cycle. This coming month is going to be not a deload month, but it's going to be a prep month. We're going to be making a bigger programming change I'm going to talk about in more detail in a few seconds. And this coming month of July will be the prep month to get us all ready for some broader changes or broader things that we'd like to do. Nothing's set in stone, obviously. And so we're going to be focusing on motor control, which is like how well can you control your body, activate the right musculature, movement patterns like dynamic range of motion, open up the body a little more, kind of clean up some hip and ankle things that we're seeing commonly, some shoulder things, and kind of decrease weights, and increase volume and practice. So it'll still be fast, it'll still be challenging. It's just going to focus less on your maximum weight that you can carry and more on the maximum quality of the movement. We're really going to be sticklers about it this month. So that's that. All right, so a few other announcements. I'll probably make a separate video for each of these, so this one doesn't go on for too crazy long. We have signed a lease for a new location at the Bodies in Motion building, which is, the address is 17027 Ventura Boulevard. So you guys can check that out. It'll be at least 60 days before we move there, and we'll be sending out a series of emails and videos with announcements and questions and feedback and layout so you guys can see what the plan is. But just wanted to let you guys all know that within the next 2 months we will be moving to that space. We'll be slowly exiting this place that we're in now, and there will probably be a stoppage of service for 2 days over a weekend while we have a professional moving crew come and move everything. Hopefully it won't be too detrimental, but we'll give you guys all a lot of notice about when. If any of you guys want to help out with certain things like layout and design and colors and things like that, would be really cool if you guys wanted to put some of yourselves into it. We certainly, I certainly am not very creative. The team is very creative, but we'll look for some opportunities if you guys are interested. With the new facility comes some different options actually. So the new facility is going to be 4,000 square feet. The one we're in now is 1,800. It's going to have a lot longer area, so we can do things that are carries and some sprinting drills and runs inside. So there'll be some new equipment. And with that, we can also change the programming a little bit. Not necessarily the programming, that might be the wrong word. We're going to change the class structure a bit. So this is our big project, and I think what I'm going to do is give a brief explanation now and probably make a broader 8 or 10 minute second video on this again. But basically, we want to split apart the classes into a CrossFit only class and then into what we call like a custom CrossFit class, which is more of a focus on range of motion, motor control, stability. There's a hierarchy of movement, and we're going to get into that in another video. But basically, we're going to have a class that focuses on fundamentals and making injury prevention and safety and security so that when you move to barbell movements and faster repetitive movements and workouts, you are prepared and capable. So we're going to have a separate opportunity for each. So our classes right now are kind of blend of both, and we want to give people an opportunity to experience each in its own and create their own structure. So I'm going to make a much broader video and blog post about that. That won't happen probably till the end of August. So we got a lot of time. We'll solicit your guys' feedback and ask you guys questions about how you feel about it. I got two last things. We have a hold policy. It's summertime, so we get a lot of questions about holds for memberships. How can you put it on hold while you're on vacation? We have a 30-day notice for holds because it creates a lot of work administratively on our end, and if we get bombarded with 10 or 15 holds, which we sometimes do at the end of a month, and we want to pause all those before your billing cycle starts, we don't necessarily have time. It's not something that we've planned into the time frame because we're just getting random emails. So it would be a great help if you guys could give us a 30-day notice on any holds. In addition, there's a form on our website. If you go to the website homepage and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a link there that says membership cancellation or membership hold, and it takes you to a form that automatically does it for you. So we don't need to bounce back and forth, make sure bills are paid, and we also don't want to have, we don't want to charge you when you're not supposed to be charged. It creates challenges. So 30-day hold policy would be fantastic. Thank you guys for respecting that and appreciating that. All right. And then the last thing is we're halfway through the year. We have a ton of people that have had a tremendous amount of improvement this year. We would love to share any of your stories that you guys are comfortable sharing. We first of all, we could use some testimonials. We're going to move into a bigger space. We're going to need to add some more members to support that space. It would be very, very helpful and awesome if you guys, if any of you were comfortable coming forward and sharing some of your success stories from the last 2 years with us. And in addition to that, if you guys are comfortable, we would love a Yelp review or a Google review if you feel like we've done a helpful job and are adding value to your lives. So I think that's it. I'm going to add some more videos and blog posts to some of these topics so we can get into more detail over the next few weeks. But for now, if you guys have questions or want to dive further into some of these announcements, please reply to the email, put a comment on the YouTube video, text me directly, call the gym, whatever you need. So thank you guys. I'm looking forward to an awesome end of the year. I hope you guys are as well. We have some awesome things in store, and we'd love to hear your feedback. So love you all. Have a great end of June, and we'll see you in a couple days.